look at the Swans and the Crows game, I thought this was another great coaching performance by John Longmire as well. He got the game played in his terms. I just want to show you what the returns were in terms of the space at one end and not the space at the other. They clogged up one end. Adelaide Crows went inside 50, 59 times for 5 goals, 1 in every 12 entries. Sydney at the other end, because of the space that was available, 37 times for 11 goals. Now, those numbers normally, just on the inside 50s alone, you'd think, gee, Adelaide have won this convincingly.
Comfortably,
yeah,
absolutely.
By 6-7 goals. But just the coaching effort, I thought, of John Longmire was unbelievable. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Well, as you said, you go in 37 times, you wouldn't win too many games. I don't think anyone would have won with 37 inside 50s this year. But as you said, it was the way they set up their forward 50 entries was the key. They used the ball really well, but they set up the space behind. And we saw some really good examples. Adam Goodes was involved on a couple of occasions, and we see Goodsy here, up here, and he's mobile. He's on the move, and he's trying to create space. So the Swans have taken possession. He's calling for the ball inside, misses that option, so then looks and identifies where the space is. Another possession to the Swans and tears off into space. Now, that's what you need. He's got all this grass in front of him. And he's got 100 metres to run into. Runs towards 50, takes a bounce, gets to about 35 metres and slots it through. Far too easy from an Adelaide Crows point of view, but really good setup for the Sydney Swans. Their forwards have to do that. Open up the space. It's really important that they do that.
I think it's easy to get caught ball watching at times when you're a defensive player and you're worrying about where do I position myself, and sometimes you lose track of your man. But I think the flip side of that argument is if Adelaide went in 59 times rocket and they only got 5 goals out of it, does that highlight an inflexibility in the way they were taking it in? I mean, you can't just definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Yeah. You've got to go to plan B at some stage, haven't you?
I think there's a few things. I think they missed some set shots which they normally kick. Yep. And that might have been a bit windy. So if they kick another 4 or 5 from those set shots, it puts a little bit of scoreboard pressure, 1. But I think 2, they did go to the same target consistently, went long, bombed it long. Maybe a selection table could have picked Jenkins as well, because Grundy out, maybe if they're going to go longer, have a bit more height there.
Took 6 marks, both sides, inside the forward 50. And I think they got a 1-goal return from their 6 marks. So that was exactly what you were saying. They didn't capitalise at all. Some
of the kicks, we talk about kicking to the correct side for the forward. Give him the advantage to hold out his opponent. There was a number of times we saw during the night that the Swans did it really well. The Adelaide Crows didn't. Now we see Adam Goodes again. He's up in this stoppage here. He's up in the stoppage there as we just roll the play here. Now, also, at the top of the screen, we see the forward 50s totally open. Now, the Swans players, although there's a +1 back from the Crows, push up. Now, there's a contested ball here. The Swans gain possession here shortly. And this is the dangerous area. From a Crows point of view, is a really dangerous area. And there's Lewis Jetta. He's in the right spot. He's got no coverage defensively here. So what he's going to do, if and when the Swans get possession, which they do now, he takes off. Now, he's got 70 metres to run into the space, and as we saw on the night, it's a leg race, foot race, no one wins outside Lewis Jetta. He did get a nice bounce too, but again, it's a forward 50 entry where it's really dangerous. He's going to score from that opportunity.
Yeah, that's right. And I think as we talk about Fremantle, it's at the dangerous space, and that's the word you use, and it is a dangerous space back inside 50 where there's no one there. Just someone needed to drop back. Either one of the backs, opposition players, have gone up and not going to be used in a non-dangerous spot. They're the ones that need to go back.
Good luck drawing the short straw and finding yourself on Lewis Jetta too when there's a bit of space around. You'd be a bit nervous, wouldn't you?
You'd be very nervous. You'd be locking on, but you'd be defensive side. You'd be trying to push him up at the ball. There's no doubt about that.
I've had enough of you two blokes using my little toy over here. Can I go? You were all right. You were scratching earlier.
We haven't seen that.
I just want to show you some vision of and ask the question: are Adelaide defeating themselves the way they play? And they were I thought out-coached the other day in terms of the structural setups of the Sydney Swans. If we just pause that there, their ability to use the ball lateral is the thing for me. You just see, and we'll roll this in a sec, the ball is here, and you can see the Adelaide Crows going to the top of the screen here. They never go lateral. They very rarely go lateral, and the Sydney Swans were able to then adjust their positioning and stay goal side, force them down the line, and they were able to intercept that ball and then get the game played back on their terms. Pretty simple stuff, but the mindset of what we want to show you here is exactly that. Is exactly their ability to get goal side, Lynchy. I'll just show you this one here. So just look for the this is an exit kick in for the Sydney Swans, which is intercept marked by Adelaide Crows on the wing, okay? You can just see straight away. Now, most sides in this instance will be looking to switch and get outside to this fat side, this other side of the ground over here. We'll just pause it there. So if you look here, we've got the Adelaide players here. They're on the defensive side. Now, normally most sides would pull that player back, and try and come around here in a sweeping motion and get out the other side. The Sydney Swans players, if we just pause that there, are just getting goal side. Now, it's only 5 or 10 metres, but as you can see, what that does do is allows for this player here to drop back into that space because there's enough coverage in tight because they've rolled back a little bit. So, therefore, they go long again and virtually give the ball back to that loose Sydney Swans player. It's great coaching. This feeds into the clip that you had a moment ago, Lynchy, where they then use the ball short into Adam Goods, and all these players now have to come and pick up the Swans players. So then that allowed the space at the back for them to get over the back and score, as you showed before. So you can just see, as we roll on there, bang, we've seen the end of that clip anyway, but it just showed you, I think, the coaching win that John Longmire was able to execute here. Same thing again, we just pause it there. This one did come in lateral, come from the side here. Now, they maintain this. This is the difference with them. They're able to get these, see the loose players here? You can just see them. You can just see them there. If they're prepared to go lateral, it forces Sydney to come and pick them up. I think it's Bernie, it might be Talia there, just gives that short handball. If you had to go on by foot straight away, they would have had those players to use. Didn't use them, bombed it in, gift the ball back to Sydney. I just thought the ability to use the ball lateral was the major difference for them. If we just have a look here, bang, they're out again, they're gone again, and you can see as soon as there's two Swans players there, they're out and gone again. Exactly that vision you showed before. That next kick, if it comes in, they're gone. There's no stopping that. So, from a coaching sense, I thought there was huge wins for John Longmire and his troops.
Yeah, I thought they made Adelaide play the way that Sydney wanted them to play, which is kick long to a contest. And you highlighted a few there. And there were times there where they had a free kick or a mark on the back flank, and they lined up on the line of the centre square. They had 3 players, so they couldn't come in board. They didn't want them to come in board. Adelaide, as you said, weren't creative, didn't take the game on, and it just went down the line, which suited that spare player.
Does he have to alter that this week, or is it too late? Do you just have to roll on with what you know? Because I'm worried that Ross Lyon would have seen exactly all of that and then be ready to roll.
I think... yeah, I'm not too sure, because I've seen them in the past do that. Early in the year, especially, they'll take the gun on, and they've been actually renowned for their run out of the back 50, because they have got some good runners, and the mids can get back and they run. So it'll be interesting to see what they use this week.
Well, just having a look at some more vision here, Lynchy, if we can. I don't know whether you sit with this, but the one here we've seen, Adelaide, this is the one where they come back in, and you can just see here as they spike it around, it is quick, it is pure, it is straight out the other side, exactly what we spoke about before. And if we pause it there, you can see what this does, okay? So that 2 quick ball uses across forces the Swans to now come and man them up, and I thought this was the change in the game, the subtle change in the game. The loose player out the back here, and you'll see in a moment as we roll that vision, if they go quickly, I think it's Sam Shaw there, who's a left footer, wasn't comfortable getting that ball forward, but he did the right thing and come back in. We'll pause it again there. They were able to utilise that and force the Swans to come out of that extra defensive end and come out and then man those guys up. They had a loose forward here, so they had their opportunity when they did use it lateral, and I just think it'll be a subtle variation, no doubt, that Brenton Sanderson will use at the end of the season. Right now, I'm not sure whether they can or they can't adjust that. You probably know more about that than
I think that it'd show that they can do it. There's no doubt about that. It's probably just been alert to it, I think, a bit more quicker. I think a bit more quickly. They tended to go, oh, no, it's not on, and it's sort of no risk.
I think what we saw on both those last 2 examples that you showed, the fat side of the forward 50 was open.
Yeah.
If they pulled the trigger and went early enough, and I remember Darren Pritchard kicking to you all the time, you'd leave that side open and he'd put it out in front of you, but it was a reflex. They just knew to go.
Instinctive.
On those couple of occasions, they were thinking about it, scared to pull the trigger. Change the game's go to